Hello, my name is Madisyn Clark, and for CSA Day, I'll be presenting my research on the effects of remote teaching on teacher motivation. I'm currently a senior at Meredith College. I am a North Carolina Teaching Fellow as well as a Meredith College Teaching Fellow, and I will be entering the field of special education upon graduation. Throughout COVID-19, I've been able to experience motivation as both a college student and a teacher currently. Throughout my time in college with COVID-19, I have seen a decline in my personal motivation to both complete classes as well as attend my online classes. Since all of my classes have been online with COVID-19, I've been able to accept a full-time teaching position. As a teacher, I've also experienced a personal decline in my motivation to teach my students every day, as well as lesson plan and make my lessons motivating for my students. Throughout this research, I wanted to look at the long-term and short-term effects of not being in a typical classroom setting due to the COVID-19. In the short-term effects, we personally experienced a lot of excitement, joy, and flexibility of being able to stay at home. However, long-term, we're seeing a lot of social and academic declines of remote learning. In a study by Finnegan and Gross in 2007, they looked at the effects of accountability policies on teacher motivation. The study looked at 3 different aspects of motivation, including whether teachers believed accountability goals were worthwhile, whether they felt that students could improve their performance, and whether they felt their own efforts could improve student performance. Results of the study showed that teachers felt their students' and own efforts could improve performance. Results also showed that for accountability policies to be successful, they must interest a teacher to change their effort or practice in teaching. In a study in 2010 done by Rodell and other colleagues, they studied whether teacher motivation can be passed to students during learning sessions. During the study, participants were given in-person instruction of a sports activity. While all participants received the same lesson, one group received instruction from a paid teacher, while the other group received instruction from a volunteer teacher. Results showed that students who received the lesson from a volunteer teacher were more interested in learning and teaching their peers the same instruction than those who received instruction from a paid teacher. In 2020, Prasad and his other colleagues investigated the effects of occupational stress and remote working on one's psychological well-being. In their study, they found that remote working can be a challenge for employees due to working too much, not working enough, family disturbances, and workplace isolation. For the purpose of this study, I hypothesized that teacher motivation would decrease for those teachers who were teaching remotely as compared to those teaching face-to-face or combination. The quasi-independent variable was the format of teaching. We looked at teachers who were teaching completely face-to-face every day, those who were teaching completely online every day, and those teachers that were doing a combination of both teaching online and face-to-face during this time. Our dependent variables looked at teacher motivation, self-reported stress levels, and self-reported energy levels. During the study, I used a convenient sample. I was able to have 33 participants. All participants were over the age of 18 and all were certified teachers. Each participant was given an informed consent before the study. My procedure used was an online survey emailed to each participant using Google Forms. Participation was completely voluntary and could be stopped at any time throughout the survey. Each teacher received a different survey depending on the format of their teaching. The format of the survey included an unlimited time allowed. However, the survey was expected to take no more than 5 to 10 minutes to complete. The survey could be completed at their own time and their own convenience. Answer choices consisted of free response, multiple choice, and Likert scale responses. Throughout the survey, 9 to 11 questions were used depending on the format of the teaching style. However, for the purpose of this study, I only wanted to focus on 4 questions. The first question being, on a scale of 1 to 5, how stressed are you on a normal day? With 1 reporting no stress and 5 reporting very high levels of stress. The second question was, on a scale of 1 to 5, how excited are you at the beginning of a normal day? With 1 being not excited at all and 5 being very excited. The third question asked, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much has the amount of time it takes to prepare for your classes changed compared to before the pandemic? With 1 being it takes less time, 3 being it takes about the same time, and 5 being it takes more time to prepare. My last question was, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much has your motivation for teaching changed compared to before the pandemic? With 1 being less motivated now, 3 being about the same motivation, and 5 being more motivated. Results are shown in the graph below, with blue being our face-to-face teachers, pink being our remote teachers, and orange being the combination of both. For excitement levels, we found that face-to-face teachers were the most excited overall compared to the face-to-face and combination teachers. For preparation time, remote teachers reported the most amount of time preparing for lessons compared to face-to-face and combination teachers during this time. Overall motivation was a tie between combination and remote teachers, reporting the most motivation compared to our face-to-face teachers. In normal stress levels during this time, we had remote teachers reporting the highest stress levels compared to our remote and combination teachers. There were no statistically significant differences between the groups. However, we did see trends towards higher stress levels and tiredness in the online and combination formats compared to our face-to-face teachers. We also saw trends towards higher excitement levels in face-to-face teachers compared to online and combination teachers. Limitations of the study included a small sample size, and majority of the participants were in our combination format. The survey was sent in October of 2020, and many teachers were just then experiencing being back in the classroom for the first time. For future studies, I would recommend a larger sample size, as well as having more participants in our face-to-face formats and completely remote teaching formats. We can see that working from home has many pros and cons. It allows us to have the flexibility to work from home and experience more time with our friends and family. However, people are often reporting that it's difficult to work from home due to disturbances from family and not being able to separate our work life from our home life, also known as working too much. We also see pros and cons for students doing online learning. While it allows them the flexibility to learn at their own pace, we often see lacks of social and academic skills. Furthermore, we're also seeing COVID-related stress and mental illness increases during this time. Current studies are being done to see that working from home and being isolated has been linked to see more stress levels and mental illness increases. That is the end of our presentation. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at the email listed below.